Hey guys, it's Kayla. So I'm working on a new project and I figured that this time I will take you along for the whole journey, and I am at this point to where it doesn't make sense for me to show you step by step of how I got to this point, but I will put the overlays on so you can see what I've done so far. I don't know if you can tell, it's a Bison. This brown paper back here is actually wrapping paper because I didn't feel like taping a bunch of white paper together, so I just used some wrapping paper. This white paper is parchment paper. I think I got this one from like a dollar store maybe, but it's just parchment paper. Do not use freezer paper. Freezer paper makes the fusible that you stick to the fabric stick permanently to the freezer paper, and then whenever you pull it off, it's just a complete disaster. So I put my wrapping paper up. The painter's tape did not do a good job holding it at all, so I did put thumbtacks in, and I drew my Bison. And then I actually have 2 layers of the freezer paper on here because after I drew the drawing for the first time, there was quite a few things that I needed to change, and just kind of like crossing them out with the marker didn't work. I put my first layer of parchment paper up and redrew it, and it was okay, but not quite right. So then I put another layer on top of that one, and I feel like this is a good place to be. So he's drawn, and I'm going to take this layer of parchment paper and lay it flat on my cutting table. So he's laid out. Now I need to show you my fabric and how I get the fusible onto the fabric to begin with. So I buy my double-sided fusible by the bolt. This is a 25-yard bolt I got it from Walmart. Actually, it was supposed to be a 10-yard, 2 10-yard bolts. They sent one 20, possibly 25-yard bolt. I'm not going to measure it. Here's all the fabric that I already have the fusible on. Not these ones, it's cut off of these ones. So trying to keep everything together and like kind of organized and clean. I don't know, we'll see if it works. So the first thing is to get it all laid out and ironed flat. It's harder to put the fusible on if there's creases in the fabric. So I just give it a quick iron on the creases. And then if you get it in the sheets, then it's a bit easier than the roll, but the roll's just cheaper, so I'll fight with it. And I will measure out that would probably be 2.5 to 3 sheets of the paper in the package, and I think there's like maybe 8 or 10 pieces in the package. So if you're doing a small quilt, there's plenty, but if you're doing a quilt as large as what I do, then there is not enough. At this point, I will cut the fabric before fusing. It is like kind of barely stuck on, so you don't want to twist it too much. These scissors are pretty dull. This is an old coffee table that I've turned into an ironing board. Okay, all flat. You do want to make sure that it's flat before you iron because it will iron creases onto it. And I pretty much just start in the center and iron out. I think it says like to hold the iron for 10 seconds in one place. I find that you really don't have to hold it the full 10 seconds. Okay, probably good on that. And then I do like to cut the selvage off. And then since I'm trying to keep everything organized, I have been folding each piece after I cut my piece off. It's kind of a mess, it'll work. Okay, and there is my fabric with the fusible on it. For this quilt, I didn't want a lot of highly patterned fabric, so I did kind of stick with more blenders. So there are my assortment of colors for the Bison. And the oranger colors are going to be the highlights on the tips of the longer hair. And then these lighter, almost blonde colors will be the hair on the body behind that apron piece. So I am going to go straight into making part 2 of this video. Look in the description if I haven't uploaded. If I haven't had it uploaded yet, it will be very soon.